This is a quick start guide for using the Behringer X32 mixer at Parkland Lutheran Church. And the power switch, if it's not turned on, is right back here down at the bottom. And then this is the basic layout of the board. On this side, we have the inputs, the different microphone and other inputs. And we see 8 at a time on these faders, and then we select which 8 we're seeing from these buttons along this row. And as you see, the faders will move to whatever position they are being used at. And you'll notice also in this strip here, the colors change and the names change. So when I'm on this input 1 through 8, you can see that this is the Pastor 1, Pastor G2, and the podium mic. If I change my inputs, those faders now control the choir mics, various other inputs, and that's controlled from here. So as a rule, on the first 16 inputs, we have Pastor O's lapel mic on his belt pack, Pastor G's headset mic on his belt pack, and the podium mic, which is up to our right of the altar. Then we have 2 other inputs which are labeled up front as AM, which is underneath the podium, and baptistry, which is in the wall behind the baptistry. But we don't have anything hooked into those right now, so they are muted. That's this button right here. We have a soloist mic here. All the singing vocals are in blue, the pastors are in white. So we have the vocalists here, and if I go to the other input, you'll see that all the choir is in blue. Back to this input, and then we also have an input available for CD playback or audio from the PC. For example, if you need to play audio from a YouTube video or a DVD, or from a CD player back here. And then if we go to the second set of inputs, 9 through 16, we have choir on the first 2. Those 2 choir mics are right up in this corner here at the top of the beam. The other 2 choir mics are for the future use, which we don't have anything hooked into yet. Auxiliary inputs, which are nothing, and then audience mics. And these are actually used for the live stream. And those mics are halfway up the church on the walls on either side. There is one final input down here all the way on aux input. And this is a live input. It's 1/8, and you look, it shows a picture of a little headphone jack. And there is aux 5 and 6 input headphone jack over here if you want to plug that into an iPhone or something to play back music into the system. That's where you do it, and that's where you enable it and set your levels right here. If those are red, it's muted. You won't hear anything. And then finally, I'll bypass this middle section for now and just come over to the far right-hand side. This is the other thing you need for a quick start. This is your master fader over here. If that's red, there's no sound going out to the main speakers. So this master fader right here controls the sound level in the sanctuary. There are other outputs that we're using, but this controls the speaker level to the sanctuary. Okay, so that is the basic quick start of getting things up and running. You power it on, and then you make sure that the inputs that you want to hear are not muted and that their faders are up. And we've adjusted things already so that having them at 0 should work. Although for something like the soloist, you probably want to leave it down low. And then 0 on this fader is a little bit loud in the room. You can probably run it down around -5 or 10 most of the time, but it's just good to have a little bit of extra room there if you need it. And that's all there is to running the system right now. I'll get into the details of the different outputs and how to do them in the next video.